Hello everyone, in this video we will be discussing about CSRF token. Now what is CSRF token? The full meaning of CSRF is cross-site request forgery. Basically this is a token. This token is used to verify that the authenticated user is the person that is actually making the request to the application. Okay, suppose you have an application and you didn't use a CSRF token in your form fields. Okay, that will create a major security issues in your site because anyone can access your form via a third-party client like Postman, Insomnia, and send post request on your website. If you don't use CSRF token, your site can authenticate your request and it will take any kind of request that is coming from outside. That is really bad because there is high chances that your site will get hacked, right? So we use CSRF token in our all form fields for safeties. So in this video we will learn how can we add CSRF token in our forms. Basically Laravel automatically generate a CSRF token for each active user session managed by the application. We just have to use this CSRF tag in our forms that will do the job. In previous video we created a form, right? So we will be using that form. So let's open our form blade, logging.blade.php. In here we will change something like, let's put name on our input fields, name. For username field I will say name, for email I will say email, and for the password it will be password. Okay, now in the forum this is gonna be a post form, so the method will be post. Okay, now let's go to our web again, web.php. In here we will take a route. The method of this route will be a post method and the route URI will be login, and the action will pass an array login controller class. Then we will specify our method name. The method that will handle this post form will be handle login. Okay, I will name this method handle login, and for the route name I will give it a login submit. Okay, now you can see our previous route URI and this URI is same, both are logging, but it's totally fine because our methods are different, so this URL won't be conflicting with each other. Okay, now let's go to our controller, login controller. In here we will take a method. The method name will be handle login. I'll remove those, and the name will be handle login. Okay, now let's go to our logging blade. In action we have to provide the URL of this form, where this form will be submitted. We created a post route, right? So we'll submit our form in this route. For that I will just copy the route name. In our routing video we saw how to use a route name, right? So let's go to our blade. Now in routes video we saw how can we use route name with a route helper, but we didn't saw how can we use that route helper in a blade file. Now it's quite easy. Let's say I want to add my route in this action. So as we know in blade we have to, if we want to echo anything we have to say two curly braces. Then here we'll call our route helper route. So in here we'll pass the route name, only the route name that we provided in here, right? Here is the route name. So in helper we just have to specify the route name and that's all. That will generate the full URL, no need to worry. So now let's go to our controller, because now if we submit, that will hit this URL. Let's go to our front end first, then we'll go to our controller. In our front end, we can see here is our from previously. In here, I will add some dummy data and submit. And you can see it's showing me page expired. Why this is? Because we didn't use the csrf token. In Laravel, you have to use csrf token in your forms. It's mandatory. Okay. So if I go to my form, from here I will go to a middleware. If I go here, app http, you will find a folder called middleware. If you click here, you can see here is a verify csrf token.php, a middleware. If we go to kernel and scroll down, in middleware group, you can see here is a middleware, here is a middleware csrf token, right? This is the middleware csrf token. So we can manage or configure our csrf tokens, like we can mention here the routes or domain that can be accessed without csrf token. Now if you want to make any kind of post request, you need a unique csrf token, but you can also stop csrf token protection in your Laravel. You can just say here quotation all. That means you are accepting all kind of requests from outside or in your application. Laravel will accept all your requests without verifying it. If I go to my front end and then again give some data and submit, you can see the error is gone because we disabled our csrf protection. Now Laravel is accepting all kind of post requests, which is dangerous for our application, because now if anyone use a third-party client like Postman, he can manipulate my inputs. Like he can create another input in Postman. If you work with Postman or Insomnia, there are API clients, right? They can create another field and send a post request or send a malicious code in my database, right? So we have to use csrf protection for protecting the outsider request. So let's go to our middleware again, and I will remove this. Let's refresh our page and submit. You can see it's showing this error again, 419 page expire, because this Laravel expecting a csrf token now. So how can we add a csrf token in our form? It's quite simple. You have to go inside your form. In my form tag, I will take a blade directive @csrf. So this blade directive will generate a input field and fill it with a csrf token. Okay, if I go my front end, let's go to back and refresh, then let's fill up with some dummy data and submit. You can see the error is gone. Now why here is a white page? Because in our controller we didn't done nothing, right? So if we want to see our submitted data, because we can get our submitted data from method, right? So how can we do that? Now for the getting the data, you know that in PHP, if we want to get a data, we can use post, and we can specify our key like name, because I named one of my input name, and if I echo it and let's copy it and paste it again and again, we'll see here will be email and also the password, right? Now if I go to my forum and refresh it and submit with some dummy data, submit. You can see it's showing me the data. But in Laravel, this is not an efficient way to handle your form datas. There is a request class. You can see here is a request class imported in the top. Eliminate HTTP request. Basically, this class provide an object-oriented way to interact with your current HTTP request. And how to use this class? You just have to specify this class here. Request will take a variable request, and all the requests that will gonna come from the form will be held in this variable. Okay, so if I just say dd request, and if you don't know what is dd is, it's kind of die dump in Laravel. We'll talk this helper function later on. Just for now, just think this will die dump your variable. Let's see if I go again and refresh the page, submit. You can see we are getting a lots of data. So let's not get confused in request, because as I said, it will give you a request will give you a object oriented way to interact with your HTTP request, right? So you can use your arrow and then we can say all and just refresh it. You can see we are getting all our form details like name, email and password. Why I am showing you this? I am showing it because of this token. In form, if we go to our front end, there isn't any kind of token field, right? But if you check this dump data, you can see here is another field called token and we are getting a token. This is the csrf token, right? So by using that directive of blade, we are generating a csrf token automatically for our form, so it won't give us any kind of error, and this form is totally protected by a csrf token. And anyway, if you get confused by this stuff, like let's go to controller, why I am using this request, what is this dd, it's totally fine because we didn't cover those yet. But for this video, I just want to show you that if you working with form, you have to use csrf protection in your form, otherwise that can be a big security issue.